Ever wonder why you suddenly fall out of ketosis, even when you think you're eating perfectly? You're not alone. I can't tell you how many people have messaged me saying, I cut the carbs, I'm eating steak and eggs, and somehow I'm still not in ketosis. Well, today we're breaking down the top 5 most common reasons this happens. And not just the reasons, but real-world examples, the science behind it, and what you can do to stay locked into fat-burning mode. Let's start with the biggest culprit, hidden carbs. These are the carbs that sneak in from foods you think are low-carb. Sauces, marinades, salad dressings, even spice blends. Here's a real-world example. Ketchup. Just 2 tablespoons contain about 8 grams of carbs, mostly from sugar. Doesn't sound like much, right? But if you're targeting under 20 grams of carbs a day, that's almost half your allowance in one tiny squirt. And it's not just condiments. Some beef jerkies, which you'd assume are carnivore-friendly, pack 5 to 10 grams of sugar per serving. Or take deli meats. Many brands cure them with sugar. Even so-called zero-carb products can be misleading. A lot of food labels are allowed to round down, so something that says 0 may actually have 0.5 grams per serving. Eat enough servings and it adds up. So, what's the fix? Stick to single-ingredient foods when possible. Steak, eggs, butter. And if you do use packaged foods, read the labels like a detective. Those little carbs add up fast.
By the way, if you're finding this information helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help me continue creating more content like this for you.
Now let's talk protein. This one trips up a lot of people, especially on carnivore, where protein is king. Here's the deal. Protein is essential. You need it for muscle repair, hormones, enzymes, basically every function in your body. But too much protein, without enough fat, can backfire. Why? Because of a process called gluconeogenesis. That's when your liver takes excess protein and turns it into glucose. Not all of it. Your body isn't just flooding you with sugar, but enough to raise blood sugar slightly and lower ketone production. Picture this. You're eating 3 giant chicken breasts a day with hardly any fat. On paper, that's low carb, but your body says, we need energy. It converts some of that lean protein into glucose. Suddenly, your blood sugar goes up, ketones go down, and you're out of ketosis. What's the fix? Balance is key. If you're keto, keep protein moderate and don't fear fat. Add some butter, cook with olive oil, or pick fattier cuts of meat like ribeye instead of chicken breast. If you're carnivore, make sure you're not only eating lean meats. Pork belly, 80-20 ground beef, lamb chops, these should be in the mix. Reason number 3 might surprise you. Stress. You could be eating a perfect keto or carnivore diet and still struggle to stay in ketosis because of stress hormones. Here's why. When you're under stress, whether it's work deadlines, family issues, or even lack of sleep, your body pumps out cortisol. Cortisol tells your liver to release glucose into the bloodstream. That's part of your fight-or-flight response. Your body is basically saying, here, have some quick fuel in case you need to run. But here's the problem. That glucose spike reduces ketone production. Even if you haven't touched a carb all day, your stress alone can knock you out of ketosis. Think about it. Have you ever tested your ketones after a terrible night's sleep or a stressful day and noticed they were way lower than usual? That's cortisol at work. The fix? Stress management is just as important as diet. Prioritize sleep, take walks, try meditation, or even just unplug from your phone for a while. Remember, ketosis isn't just about food, it's about your entire lifestyle. Now, number 4, going heavy on so-called keto-friendly products. This is a huge one. The keto industry is booming, and for good reason, but not every product labeled keto actually supports ketosis. Let's talk about keto protein bars. The label might say 3 net carbs, but when you look closer, it's loaded with sugar alcohols like maltitol. And guess what? Maltitol can spike blood sugar almost as much as regular sugar. So while the bar looks good on paper, in practice, it might push you right out of ketosis. Or take keto ice cream. Some brands use chicory root or allulose, which may be fine for some people, but others see a noticeable blood sugar rise. Continuous glucose monitor data has shown this again and again. The label doesn't always match your body's response. Even things like almond flour and coconut flour, which are staples in a lot of keto-baked goods, can add up quickly if you're not careful. Fix. Treat packaged keto foods as occasional treats, not daily staples. Whole foods like meat, eggs, and dairy are more reliable and predictable for staying in ketosis. And finally, number 5, not eating enough fat. This is really common for people who come from a low-fat background. They cut out the carbs, but they still fear fat because they've been told for decades that fat is the enemy. But here's the thing. To achieve and maintain a state of ketosis, fat needs to be your main energy source. For example, imagine a plate of skinless chicken breast with steamed broccoli and no added butter or oil. That's low carb, yes, but it's also too low fat. The fix? Don't fear fat. Add butter to your eggs, drizzle olive oil on your steak, or embrace fatty cuts like ribeye. Fat isn't the enemy here, it's the fuel that keeps you in ketosis. Alright, those are the top 5 reasons people fall out of ketosis. But hey, if you've stuck around this long, I've got a bonus ketosis killer for you that's often overlooked. I'm talking about alcohol. Now, here's the thing. Most hard liquors like vodka, gin, whiskey, or tequila have 0 carbs. But the problem isn't the carbs, it's the way your body processes alcohol. When you drink, your liver puts ketone production on hold so it can focus on metabolizing the alcohol. It basically says, okay, ketones can wait, we need to detox this alcohol first. That pause can slow or even stop ketosis temporarily. And if you're sipping cocktails with mixers, like tonic water, margarita mix, or even a splash of juice, you're sneaking in a ton of sugar on top of that. Here's a real-world example. Someone might have a couple of rum and diet sodas on Friday night, no carbs, right? But the next morning, they test and their ketones are way down. That's because the liver was too busy handling the alcohol to keep producing ketones at the same rate. Okay, now, let's recap the top most common reasons people fall out of ketosis. Hidden carbs, like ketchup, jerky, and condiments. Too much protein, especially from lean meats without enough fat. Stress, cortisol spikes your blood sugar even without carbs. Keto-friendly products that aren't truly keto in practice. Not enough fat, leaving your body without a proper fuel source. And the 6th bonus ketosis killer, alcohol. And remember, even carb-free alcohol can hit the pause button on ketosis. If you're struggling with ketosis, chances are one of these is the culprit. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these has tripped you up before? Drop a comment below, because your story might help someone else avoid the same mistake. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we'll be diving even deeper into nutritional ketosis in future videos.